Frame this. Take two. All right, so
Take three.
all right, hey. Everybody, I'm Jesse. This is Bardia. I'm a support specialist at Replit, and Bardia is my boss. What's your title?
I'm a support engineer manager.
And what do you do at Replit?
I do a lot of things, but I manage the support team first and foremost.
Yeah. And then we're building into more developer relations stuff too. Startup, many hats. So why I wanted you on here is to talk about voice of the people. So Replit has a very engaged user base, and they send in requests, feature requests, or problems, whether it's like pain points or something that they're just having some friction with the tool. So we do this thing called Voice of the People, where we take all the feedback that we get, curate it for the highest quality feedback, and now we're just doing a retrospective on what we've gone back to fix and trying to explain the thinking process of from ideation to implementation. So I brought you up here to talk about this right here, which is the ask form. This is on back in September. We had a request to change the login, and there's also like a bunch of other issues. Like it didn't look like Replit, it didn't feel like Replit. There wasn't a lot of people going there. How did you see the situation? Like we were going from, if you're, I don't know, coming from the Replit talk days, you see a lot of we wanted like people wanted a public page where they could post feature requests and rank them, and vote on them. But you don't want to design by committee, and you kind of get like these problems. Like, where did you see the state of community engagement with the forum or the talk?
Yeah, so I guess we'll go back to when I first joined. So when I first joined, we had a couple different places where we had customers giving us feedback. So we had we used to have Replit Talk before I joined, and that was kind of like a community forum that was actually hosted on Replit itself. Yeah. We removed that feature because we didn't want to become Stack Overflow or just like a forum for code help. Yeah. So the other place that people used to send their feedback in was something called Canny. Yeah. And we had an integration with Canny, so people could log in with their Replit account into Canny, and they could post bug reports, feedback, feature requests, all there. When I joined, I noticed like we didn't really have capacity to actually engage with our users there, and what that led to was like a very toxic environment, actually, where like most people were just piling on and complaining without actually giving high quality feedback. And we didn't have the bandwidth internally to kind of be there for our users at the time. So the plan that I came up with at the time was actually like, let's move away from this public forum and let's actually collect all this feedback internally through the app in an even more frictionless way. They could just send in feedback through a form through the app, not even a character limit on it. They could just send in any feedback they wanted. This let us actually track internally the feedback a lot better. And we had everything flowing into Asana, which is our like task management system. Yeah. And at first this was great, except a lot of people were missing the fact that there was a public forum, and they felt that like kind of like commiserating together in public, help people feel like better. And also it made them feel like we were listening to them because there was something there. There was more of like feedback for us to look at, and they could tell that we've looked at it or not. But actually at the time we didn't have enough feedback to actually go through and give them all responses. So,
enough bandwidth.
Yeah, we didn't have enough bandwidth. And so we kind of just kept going with this private feedback, but at the same time, I always thought it made more sense to have like a public forum so people could vote more, because we lost that transparency, one, and then two, we couldn't tell which feature requests and problems were actually happening more frequently than others, because
You're like missing that quantitative side.
Yeah, we were missing the ability for people to quickly just press a button to vote for a feature.
Yeah. And it's not like you want to design by committee, but it is a huge factor what users want.
Yep.
Users don't always know what they want, but it does add to what we want, what we can build, and it's a stepping off point for user interviews and
having it in public also lets people who like they might not have realized they needed that feature or wanted that feature to actually say that, oh wait, this person had this great idea, like I actually want that as well.
Yeah.
So it was almost like a black box whenever feedback came in before. And then the solve that we wanted to do was actually quite large in scope. We realized that like not just our feedback systems, but like our just general support systems were like kind of fragmented between a few different tools like Front.
Because if you're not in support, it's just like, how do you scale support? Because our users outnumber us by, I don't even want to know the math, really, like multiple factors.
Like it's a million times more users than we have. Like we have 20 million users, and we had at the time just one support person and then a manager. So like it was just like 20 million to one.
And then, but we also have engineers jumping in occasionally to fix, hard bugs and.
Yep.
But it's really, I think the solve. Go on about the solve. You're trying to figure out how to scale this. And how do we end up where we're at with the ask form?
Yeah. And how do we do that in a Replit way? So the first, like about in June of last year, so June 2022, we had the idea of building our own issue tracker. So like GitHub issues or GitLab issues, something like that, that's public. And we thought that would be a great idea because one, our support team is full of engineers now. And like we thought, okay, like if we have engineers who can build things, like let's do this the Replit way, build it ourselves. And then the other thing was like we could build something that no one else could build, which is like this all-in-one, like not just like an issue tracker like GitHub, but also on like the admin side. So like on the support team side, like they would be able to manage the issues with a dedicated interface that was more suited for like the administrative side, because like right now, like on GitHub issues, there's no like admin view, like it's the same view for everyone. So that was the idea. We ended up we started scaling our user base even more in the fall, and we didn't even have enough bandwidth to kind of continue the project as scoped. And we realized that originally we also wanted to dog food the product because that's kind of the Replit way. We wanted to do everything on Replit. So we were building the product on Replit, this issue tracker, and we were going to host it on Replit as well. Eventually realized that like we want to make sure that our users have the best experience with this issue tracker. Obviously, that was from the beginning, that was the case. But we realized there were some complications with hosting it on Replit. Because at the time, like right now, we're moving to a new infrastructure for deployed apps that will give us a lot higher reliability. But for something that's like critical as like a support forum, we wanted to make sure that reliability was like just rock solid. So, we decided, okay, we need to move this actually into the web app, and we need to we can build it on Replit still, but we want it to build, as part of the web app and be just as reliable, as the site. So, once we discovered that we needed to do that, at the same time, we kind of had this, big shift in company goals.
Yeah.
And we didn't have enough engineering bandwidth to help move the app that we had built on Replit into the Replit web codebase. Yeah. So we also realized even at the same time, actually every REPL should have an issue tracker, right?
Yeah, so like it's just classic feature creep.
Yeah, scope creep. And it was like, but we still think that that's the right model in the end, and we want to give every user the ability to add an issue tracker to their project, so that
come into a REPL near you.
Yeah, hopefully sometime in 2023.
Yeah.
So once we realized that the scope was going to be too large, we actually got the issue tracker to the point where it was available to Replit staff. So we had like an MVP of it built, but we realized that we need to get this out to users immediately. So we switched gears, and we had this ask forum for like a while, but it was just mostly a place for teachers. And there was like even like a teachers lounge,
because we also have Discord. We have this community hub with multiple avenues that users could go into, but you have to have something that is able to do bugs as well. Like you don't want to have a support system in Discord.
Some people actually do their support system in Discord, but like we thought it was actually quite hard. Like a lot of our users don't want to go to Discord for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Like
just culture differences,
or like they can't search up, for example, like a feature request or like a question on Discord unless they go to Discord. They can't search it on Google, right? So we wanted to we wanted to have an official place that could host all this, like these feature requests, bug reports, pain points, what have you. And so we were like, okay, we can go to Discourse. We did some research and we're like, okay, like they have a ton of the features that we want. They have the ability to vote on topics. We have the ability for us to mark things as solved.
Let's go through it.
So like we have here like Replit help, and we have bug reports, feature requests. So like if people are having like friction with the app, they go to Replit help. If they have a bug report, they go to bug reports, and obviously feature requests. So here we can see like we can actually sort by like the top, or we can sort by the most votes. So we can see here like Bounty Chat, and this is solved. I don't know if we're actually okay. So this has been marked as a solution, but we haven't actually built this yet. We're building it actually right now.
Yeah, we just wanted to mark it as
like we're going to build this. Like, don't worry, this is happening. And also there's tags here, so people can tag things as like for different types of features, right? And as you can see, like there's tons of people on here voting, replying, viewing, and and then also it gives you tons of great things out of the box, like for analytics, and you're able to do a lot with this. It has most of the features that we wanted with the issue tracker to begin with. The only thing that we didn't have immediately was this login with Replit feature. So like originally with the Ask Forum up until this point, and that was the original feedback was like we want a way to like the user wanted a way to enter the Ask Forum immediately, like with their Replit account versus having to make their own Discourse account.
Totally.
So Shane, our longest standing support engineer, who outdates me by several months as well, he just quickly, he was the one actually leading the project for the issue tracker, and he was like, okay, we can do this and I can get this done in 1 week. So Shane, with a little bit of help from a couple of our other engineers, was able to ship this awesome feature that now like anyone can join the Ask Forum using their Replit account, so they don't need to make a second account. So we got single sign-on there, and now instead of having people submit feedback directly in the app, like if they have an account or billing issue, something like private.
Yeah, let's just show the flow of how you get maybe not a feature request, but let's go bug report, just because it gives you that nice template, which I don't think we talked about. That's
so this is the other great feature like Connor built out, Connor out, otherwise known as Ironclad Dev for those in the Replit.
Ironclad.
So if like, let's just say you need some help, let's go to the Get Help button, and let's just say I have a bug. So Connor actually also made this awesome form. So I found a bug, let's make a post. And so this will automatically take you, I already had a draft in progress, but let's discard that draft. So it automatically fills in here like all the different things that help us as the support team diagnose the issue and troubleshoot. Yeah. So like we got the bug description and all these other parts here. So
let's see what a great filled out bug report looks like. Because I know you showed me one that
Hugo.
So this is how to write a good bug report. This is done by Hugo.
No. So this is like the description.
Oh, gotcha.
And then Hugo actually made the example. Here, and so he went off here, and this is like the perfect bug report. You know, like he's got everything that we need to help diagnose this issue.
And the most important thing I'd say is like videos are amazing because like you don't even have to talk really. If you just show the thing breaking, it's way more informative, and then steps to repro are huge. What else would you say is like most critical in a bug report?
Like expected and actual behavior, because sometimes they'll like say what the problem is, but they won't say what they're actually expecting the thing to do. So a lot of times we'll have to like clarify with them. Another great thing about the Ask Forum is that like if someone posts something confusing, like our community is like really happy to hop in and be like, hey, like this is confusing. Like the Replit staff will have trouble understanding this bug report. Like, can you please clarify?
Yeah.
Or like some people won't fill in these like the template I was showing earlier here.
Yeah.
Like they'll like erase a bunch of this stuff, but it doesn't matter because there's going to be like either us or someone in the community will ask them, hey, like,
yeah. And that's one of the main goals of the Ask form, was that it helps the community help themselves, help each other.
Yeah.
And you get to a place where support can actually scale, because as our user base scales, the people who want to help other people and learn through helping or learn through teaching, that just compounds. We have this end goal of wanting to help users help each other, and we have this end goal of having transparency, and it's also a form of like this value we have internally of just seeking pain, of just like putting yourself out there. Like, this is my feature request, and like, is this already a feature? Like, in searching, of course, on every form you go to is like,
anytime you want to make like open a draft, like
search first.
Just like it happens automatically though. I don't know if it does if you already have this. Oh, no, it does. So your topic is similar too. So
nice.
There's always a way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's sweet.
No.
It's probably one of the best features. It's kind of like Stack Overflow when you start
Totally.
typing in something and it shows you. So, and people here, like the Ask form, like now that we're here, as like Replit staff constantly like monitoring these channels, we can also, just have more people in the community there, and they do other things together. So like, they're not just getting help with Replit, like they're getting code help. We're also going to be hosting like monthly AMAs. We already had our first one with, Jeremy Press, like our product engineering manager. There's still the Teachers Lounge. Like we're starting a new patrons Ask forum section as well, category.
Nice.
So we're really pushing people to help each other and create like a community of people who are really passionate about Replit and want to
help other users.
Help each other. Like I think that it makes you feel part of the community when you post a question, and it's not just going to the Replit staff. Like if the community can answer the question, it's great for the person who's getting their answer quicker because we have limited bandwidth, but then also the person answering the question, like there's like an inherent, like people love helping each other, I think, generally.
Yeah, no, it's like the gift of giving, right?
Yeah. You get something out of it too.
Yeah. And you totally learn by explaining things or by engaging with the users. And forums are great. We love forums. This is ours. You could also go to the community hub, where we also have other places to engage with the community. If this isn't your preferred communication method, but if you want to send us a bug report, send us a feature request, or just ask for help for how to use Replit better, go to the Ask forum, ask.replit.com.
Yeah. All right. I think that covers.
Yeah, that's good.
Covers it.
Bardia? Thanks, boss.
Thanks, Jesse.